Okay. Waiting for the streams to come up. So I'm live streaming again from my studio. Here I am, doing what I do. Okay. Okay, looks like we're up. We're up and on the air on YouTube and Facebook, and I am working on a track, and I will show it to you. There it is right there. I'm working on a mix of Good Morning Fräulein Goebbels, which I call GMFG. I may release it as GMFG and let people guess what it's about. But anyway, let's get to the task at hand. I am right there. I'm going to do a new mix of this. What I'm on right now is mix 36. So let's just listen to it a little bit.
Good morning, Fräulein Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate. Another steaming fitted stew served with a smile. Good morning, Fräulein Goebbels, I see your lips moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile.
Okay, so what's wrong with that? A few things. I think maybe it sounds a little too crispy in the high end, especially in the vocal, and the kick is really kind of overpowering, I think, and so is the bass. So I think I need to tame those things down. And that's mix number 36, and I'm going to do mix number 37 next. So here's how I start something like that. I want to save the mix I've done, right? So I'm going to, these right here, all these purple tracks right here that you see, that I'm scanning across here, all the ones that are highlighted, I'll highlight them right here. Those are all previous mixes, right? So here's mix 35, and I'm going to do a mix down to mix 36 here. So I'm going to duplicate that track, and then I'm going to rename it mix 36. Okay, now it says mix 36. Then if I go to the track view up here, you see mix 36 is empty. That would be where to go. Oh, here it is right here. Let me just spread those out a little more here. Okay. Here's mix 36. There's nothing there, right? This right here, this empty track right here. So I'm going to go back to the mixer view, and first thing I want to do is I want to turn off anything on the output bus, any plugins. This one right here is Sound ID Reference, which is a room correction software that I've analyzed the room I'm in, and this curve right here represents a correction to my room. So I'm going to turn that off so that it just records flat. And this Span Plus analyzer, I'm going to turn that off too. Anything on the output bus, I'm going to turn off. Then I'm going to go back up to the track window here, and I'm going to go up to, I don't think you can see the bar up here, but it says File, and I'm going to pull down to Bounce, and I'm going to pull down to Project or Section. And this window comes up here, and I want to make sure it's clicked Add to Project, and OK. And then I want to make sure it is mix number 36 in the title. 36. OK, and then I hit Bounce. And it will do the bouncing. And we'll just wait for that to happen. And this is also that I save the mix that I had, and I can go back when I make changes, when I create a new alternative mix. I've saved this one, and I can go back and see what the changes sound like instead of just doing it and not getting back to it. And especially if I like what I did before better than what I come up with on this new mix, I can get back to it. And so that's why I save everything here, all these different mixes. And a lot of these different mixes are I've used a different reverb on the vocal, or I've put some more compression on the drums, whatever little tiny, usually it's a small little thing. Quite often, I will strip the mix back down to the studs, as I like to say, take all the faders to zero, take all the plugins off, and start all over again. I don't think I want to do that on this one because it doesn't sound. It sounds pretty good to me. There are just some things I think need attention. Like I said, the kick drum, the bass, and maybe a little too much high end on the vocal. So I'm going to do that, and you're here to watch me do that. Okay, so back to the session. Okay, now I'll go back to the session here, and I'm going to go up to the upper right here. There's a button up here with all the tracks in it. So that'll open up. And then I'm going to scroll down and go get the bounce I just did. It's at the bottom. It's right here. I'm going to click and grab that. I'm going to drag it over here into that track. Put it right there. And I'm going to make sure it lines up with everything else. Okay. So there it is. I'm going to close this. I'll go back to the mixer window here, and turn this plugin back on, and then we should be able to hear. Let's play it, and then I will solo what I just bounced here, and we'll hear that it sounds the same.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. What you got for us today? Another heaping pile of black.
Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to save that. There's a little button here on my control surface that says save, and I'm going to press that, and it's going to, for some reason, this track has a lot of stuff in it, or this song has a lot of tracks in it, and it takes a while to save. Okay, now it's saved. Now I'm going to go up to File, pull down to Alternative, and I know you can't see any of this stuff. For some reason, it's not showing up in OBS. I'm going to go up to New Alternative, and there, Mix 37. Okay, now I've started a new mix. And wait for the beach ball to stop spinning here. Right, see it there? Yeah. Okay, so now I can address the issues that I thought I was hearing. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to go to the kick drum, and I'm going to work on what that sounds like. It sounds a little overpowering to me. So I've got some plugins on all these. I've got one on the snare. I'm going to that's a Span Plus analyzer. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn it off on all the tracks that I have it on except for the kick and the bass, because I want to see what's happening with the kick and the bass in terms of frequencies. Okay, so I've turned all those off. Now let's work on the kick.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. What you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off our plate. Another steaming finish.
Thing right here, that's the kick. Right here. This brown one here is the
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. I see your lips moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe.
Oh, I see what the problem is. Let's see what the problem is. If you look at this EQ I've got on the kick, I've got a great big boost here, and I don't know why that's there. That shouldn't be there. So I'm going to take that down. I'm going to take that out. Just going to click off of that. Oops, no, click off of this right here. And then we're going to try to reshape the bass, or the kick drum, I should say. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to roll off some of the low end here. Oh, there we go. That's better. Let's see what it sounds like.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. What you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off our plate. Another steaming finish served with a smile.
If you look at this plug-in here, the EQ plug-in on the kick, there's a compare button. I can go back and forth to what it was before. That's what it was before. This is what it is now. Let's see what it sounds like when I click that on and off. That's the new way. That's the old one. Really a lot different.
Good
that's better. Let me look now. I want to look at the isotope tonal balance control, and this breaks up the. This gives us a waveform of the response in the various frequency bands. This is low frequency, low mids, and high. And let's see what that looks like.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today?
You can solo those two, right? You're like, there's the lows. There's the low mids. High mids. And the highs. It's kind of crispy in the highs is what I was hearing. It was kind of crispy in the highs, so I want to take care of that, right? Yeah, let's look at that. I think a lot of it's coming in the vocal, so let's take a look at the vocal. Okay, I'm going to go to the vocal channel right here. Oh, I see. I've got an exciter plugin on there. That's, if you see that, it's right here. I'll pull it up here. There's an exciter plugin, and it's like 155% on those harmonics. So I'm going to dial that back. All right. Let's. I think the vocal starts at bar 8. Let's look at. See if that's where it starts.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off our plate. Another steaming fetid stew served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't moving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bite.
Okay, I'm gonna go look and see how that sounds better already. Well, let's do that little trick where we hit that compare button again. Let's call it back up again. Okay. Let's go back to bar 8 and play. And we'll compare it.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off our plate. Another steaming fetid stew served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only
Split the difference here.
spewing out that isn't moving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it, oh.
Okay, we'll sit there with it, and let's look and see how it looks in the tonal balance control plugin. See if I've tamed some of the high end.
Over and over and over. If you say it over and over and over. If you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you.
Okay, now remember how I said I could compare Mix 36 to this new Mix 37. Let's do that once. Let's go to the top of the song, and I will start with the mix I'm working on now, 37, which addressed the kick, and I haven't gotten to the bass yet, but a little of the sparkly stuff on the vocal, which was overpowering. And now let's play that, and then I'll solo Mix 36, and we'll hear what the difference is here. Here it is. This is 37. Wait for the vocal.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got
Here's 36.
today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off our plate. Another steaming fetid stew
37.
served with a smile.
36.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't
37.
moving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bite.
36.
But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it.
I'm going to turn down the speakers in my room a little bit and try to listen for things poking out that shouldn't poke out. Like maybe the vocal's too loud. If you get the volume down in the room, things will poke out more. Things will be more obvious. So let's listen. Very
steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon girls, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure.
There's a part of the song I haven't even gotten to yet, is the second verse, where some of the instrumentation drops out, and I wanted to add some kind of vocal effect there, some kind of phasey thing. We'll see what we can come up with here. Let's see if I go to the vocal. Also, I'm not crazy about the vocal effects right now. I might want to mess with that a little bit. Okay, I had a vocal double there. I'm going to change the color of that so I can find it easier. Anything that has anything to do with vocals, I tend to make red. So, and let's see. There's a vocal delay. Let's make that red too so I can find it easier, right? Okay. And the vocal verb, there's a reverb on here too. Let's make that red as well. Okay, all right. Let's mess with that stuff. Go to the top of the song. I'll take the effects out right now. Just the thing.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off a plate.
That's what the vocals drive.
Served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you.
Okay, all right. That's without any vocal effects at all. Okay, so now I'm going to start messing with those and bringing those back in and see what they sound like here. What have I got here? I've got vocal delay. I'm going to drag this over so it's closer to the other ones here. Put it right there. Okay. So now I've got all the vocal effects in one spot on my control surface. Okay, let's bring up the delay and see what we got. Go to bar 8.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off a plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven.
Bring up the
I
reverb.
don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you.
I don't know if I like any of those effects, actually. And what's this one? The vocal double. Let's see what this one sounds like here. I'll mute the reverb. Let me go back to bar number 8 or 9. Yeah, right. There we go.
Morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off a plate.
Nothing's going to that one. Let's see why. What is that? That is bus 6. Okay. So I'll go back to one here. I'm not feeding anything to that. I'm feeding, oh, I see. I'm feeding the, okay. I'm going to try to remember what I did this mix so long ago that I went on to some other song. And I don't know what I'm feeding with that here. Oh, okay. I see something here I got to change. I'm not going to really talk about it. I'm just going to do it. Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I had the same plugins on this other outro vocal thing. And the exciter, I changed the exciter on the vocal, but I didn't change it on the other one. So I got to copy this over to there so they're both the same. All right.
Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate. Another steaming finish stew served with a smile.
Oh, I see. Okay, bus 6. Yeah, okay. Here we go. I'm going to pull up bus 6 on the vocal. Okay, let's get bus 6 going to that and see what it sounds like. I'm sending the vocal to the vocal double effect. I'm turning it up to 0 dB send, and let's just bring it up and see what it sounds like. Just trying things here.
Morning Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate.
Kind of like that.
Another steaming finish stew served with a smile. Good morning Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that is improving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, are you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, are you facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody is swinging at anything you're pitching. No one will.
I think during that little section there in verse 2, I'll just bring the vocal doubler up a little louder and then back down again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that track, and then I'm going to hit the touch ID or the touch fader button here, which will write some automation for that. So I'm going to go to the top of the song. Actually, I'm going to latch it first so that it latches in place, and then I will go back and do a touch on it.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate. Another steaming finish stew served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that is improving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, are you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds.
All right, at that point, I want to bring that vocal double up a little bit. Vocal double up. So So let's see. Where did that start? I don't know. I got to find it now.
If you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how your facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain has even brought a band. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Yeah.
Okay. So I've got that done. I did a little automation there. I don't know if I press the read button here, you'll see that I got to get myself out of the shot here, and you'll see that this fader right here, the one that's highlighted over here, will go up and down as I scrub back. See? Right there. That's the automation I drew in, or I put into this fader here. So let's play that part.
Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain.
Nope, gotta go back further. There it is right there. Okay.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get it.
I think I gotta make that happen sooner. So I'm gonna go back. Okay, I'm just gonna bring that up quicker.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels.
Okay, I may have been too much. I don't know. I'm gonna check, see if there are any comments. Anybody's watching? Who's watching? Anybody watching? Anybody out there? Looks like somebody's on YouTube watching. Welcome. Drop me a comment. Uh-oh, can't hear my mic. Oh. So you hear it now then. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have the comments up and I couldn't tell. From my end, it looks like it's going out. Thanks. Thanks for the comment there. Is the Span Plus reading more than one channel? Yeah, it's let me show you that if you're still here watching. I'll go over it again. Let's see. I'll open Span Plus. And it is also reading all these others that I put. See, I can put an instance of Span Plus on the kick drum, and I put it on, let me make this white so you can see it better here. And I have it on the bass. And let me just make sure I'm not importing any others, because then I can actually import the instance of it on the other tracks as well. So let me take it out of there. Thanks for the comment, by the way. It's nice to know somebody's watching. Okay, so here it is. You'll see the bass waveform is brown and the kick is blue, so you get an idea. We'll go to the top of the song here.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off a plate. Another steaming.
Turn my mic up a little bit so you can hear me better. There we go. How's that? Turn it all the way up. There it is. Okay, I think you could see that the waveform for the bass and the kick were overlapping a bit. And I think I want to EQ the bass a bit and see if that sounds better. I know you shouldn't mix with your eyes, but I want that kick to come through. There's other ways to do it, but let me just EQ a little bit on the bass and see if that makes the kick come through better. Okay, so we'll go here, EQ the bass. That's what the EQ curve for the bass looks like right now. So I'm going to roll that up a little bit. Actually, I'll roll it way up, and then you'll see if how it affects the sound and also the waveform on the Span Plus. I'm going to go way up with it. Now you don't even hear it anymore. To my ears, it sounds better when it's when I'm letting more of the low end of the bass come through, and it's not stepping on the kick that much. And you should really mix with your ears, not your eyes. So I'm going to go back to what it was. Just hit the compare button on the EQ here. Now let's see what it sounds like. We'll go back and forth on it. I don't know if I like that effect so much. I'm going to go back to OBS and look at the chat window, see if I answered the question here. Oh, okay. So anyway, if you're still watching, Ice Mike 1200, yeah, the span will read whatever you put an instance of span on each track, and you can have it read a lot of stuff. And what you do is import it over here in this window. Well, no, you can't see it because I didn't show it to you. There you go. You import it in this window here, and I've got span on the electric guitars. I got it on the claps because I was trying to see how the claps and the snare sounded together. And of course, mix with your ears, not your eyes. But it also helps if you don't have a perfect room, and none of us do, to see a visual on what's coming through. All right. But even now, like I said, with the bass, sounded better to me before, although I think it's a little overpowering. So I might go back to the EQ the way it was and then find another way to control it a little better. Not sure about this bass amp I'm using here. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to change the mic on that and see what it sounds like. In Logic, you got amp modeling, and in terms of, I mean, you've got all the controls you'd have on a normal physical bass amp. Plus, you've got the microphone and mic placement and mic type. So let's, I'm going to mess with that a little bit. See what that gives me. Let's go here and change the mic here. See what it sounds like. Condenser. Okay, I got an 87 condenser on it, which is like a U87 model. And I could go to the EV20 or the AKG 421. Let's see what that sounds like. I think that's going to be a little more pokey sounding, which is what I want. I want it to poke through. Let's change the mics and see what they sound like. This is the 421. This is the EV20. You can also change where the mic is. Move the mic around. Kind of like that.
Good morning, Pellinger, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we
Change the mic and see how it affects the curve on Span Plus. Okay, I kind of like the way the EV or the actually the 421 sounds pretty good too. But I'm going to go with the EV on this and just see what. I'm going to close this amp model here. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back to mix 36, which is my previous mix, and compare the two. So I'm starting with 37, then I will solo 36. Here's 36. 37. Think I like the bass better now. I'm going to bring it down a little bit again and listen to it again here. Oops, no, wrong track.
Good morning, Pellinger, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off our plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Pellinger, I see you lips moving. That only means that something's spewing out that is improving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that
I'm not crazy about that vocal effect. It's kind of cool, but it's. I wonder if it should be something swirlier, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Okay. I'm going to stop here and check, see if there are any more comments. Okay. Okay, anyway, here I am. I'm back here in the studio. Working on this track. I think it sounds better. I want to see how much I want to do with the. It's hard to talk and think about this stuff at the same time. So I'm going to shut up now for a little bit and just do the work, and check back, see if there are any questions or comments. Okay, here we go. I'm going to look at those claps, where those claps come in. That's what I want to see here. I want to make the claps stick out a little more, I think. Yeah, let's go back to where the claps come in. There we go, right there. I feel like it's stepping on the snare drum too much. So maybe we'll just EQ that a little more here. There's the EQ curve it has now. Let's go back. Okay.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. How you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. How you facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain has even brought a band. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Yeah, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Someone will believe you. Someone will believe you.
You want to go back to that again? Where the claps come in. Right here. I'm going to EQ the snare a little bit. A little bit of a bump at, let's see, what frequency is that? 1030? No, that's not it. 2060. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. How you facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain has even brought a band. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Yeah, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over.
Okay, this is a spot where using the Span Plus on the channels gives you an idea of what might be interfering with what another part. Okay, so I've got the span plus on the snare and on the claps. I believe it's on the claps. Yeah, I'm going to turn it on the claps. Now I'm going to go to span plus. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to only import the snare and the clap. So I'm going to turn this off. This will go to the snare, and this one will be claps. And I'm going to see how they overlap each other. Easy for me to say. So turn this off. Okay, let's take a look at that part. Okay, right where the claps come in. Here we go.
A different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds.
See this? Oh, I can freeze that. Let me try to freeze that if I can. Can I freeze that? You'd think there'd be a way to do that. Let's see. Anyway, look at this and watch the blue wave is the snare and the green is the clap. So you'll see they don't interact. The claps are sitting in between. There. Right there. There are the claps poking through right here. Go back to where the claps come in, right here, and I'm just adjusting the compressor now on the claps just to see if I can get them to poke through a little more. Probably by adjusting the threshold and the makeup gain and perhaps the attack. Well, too much there, I think. Another way to do it, I might try a different distortion plug-in on the claps. I've got this Chroma Glow plug-in, and I got it set to the mid-ranger preset under drums. But I'm going to go to, let's go to Saturate and Sizzle and see what that sounds like. Just adding a little distortion to the claps. Okay, there we go, right here. See what that sounds like. The compare button, see what it sounds like. Okay, let's live with it like that for now. I think I want to EQ that again a little more. Let's go back to where I was. that save button. Watch the beach ball spin here. All right. If you're finding this interesting, subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, and those of you on Facebook, well, I don't know what you do on Facebook. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to continue on with this a little bit more here, and occasionally I have to check back on the comments. While I'm working in Logic, I can't have OBS open, and so I can't really see your comments, so I have to go back occasionally and look and hopefully answer any questions. Is the Span Plus reading more than one channel? Yes. It'll read any channel you put it on. So basically what you do is you put it on a channel, and let me close these windows here. You put it on a channel, like I've got it on this channel right here. This is the clap. No, this is the clap channel. No, this is the rock organ, classic organ channel. And you pick a color you want it to send, and then you export it to, and the export button, you choose where you want to export it to. And you do this on any one of these tracks. And then you go to the output channel, and on that one you import, like I have the import window open. Right now I'm importing the snare and the claps. So let's look at something else instead of the snare and the claps. Let's look at the way the organ and the electric guitars interact. So I'm importing those, and let's just see from the top of the song what they look like. Okay, that's what I thought. You also have to go make sure they're turned on those tracks. So I'm going to turn them on the electric guitar track here and on the organ. Where's the organ? Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'll turn it on there. And now we'll see how they interact. The purple one is are the electric guitars, and the green one is the organ. So.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder slide.
You see they're only overlapping a little bit, and that's fine. And, also mix with your ears, right? So let's bring the bass in. I'm going to see where that sits in all this. Make sure I have it turned on the bass. And I do. So let's see where the bass sits in the frequency response. Okay, it's not showing up at all. And why is that? I have it on. Oh, I don't have it turned on. So you got to make sure it's turned on that channel. This is the bass track right here, and then you got to turn it. There, it's off. Now it's on. So let's see what it looks like.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off a plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see you.
Now what I'm hearing is the hi-hat is kind of a little bit overpowering, I want to say. And I suspect I'm picking up the hi-hat. I don't have a dedicated hi-hat mic. I'm picking it up on the snare. So if I solo the snare, you'll hear it. Tick, 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 tick. You got that? Yeah. A little too much. So, how do I deal with that? Let's see. Let's see if it's coming up through on the tom track, on the tom bus too here. Sounds nice on the tom bus. I like it like that. But then you bring in the snare. Let's see if I can figure out where I'm getting that. Maybe I'd put a little de-esser on that and see what happens. Let me look at that. I've got the snare soloed. And I'm going to look at, I'm going to open that up. The snare is soloed, so I'm going to turn off everything that's coming in except for the snare. So on this, I'm only going to import the snare. Then let's see what we got here. Then I'm going to turn the resolution to high res here, so I can try to see visually if I can see where I should set the de-esser. Is it over here? At about 16.3K, could that be it, really? So there's something to try, okay? So I'm going to put on the snare, I'm going to, right before the span plus, I'm going to pop in a de-esser. Okay, there's a de-esser, and I'm going to set the frequency for 16K. It only goes up to 12. Okay, so now we're just going to mess with that and see what I can make that sound like. See if this can affect, and we're just trying things out here. Don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Okay. Okay, let's listen to it in the mix and see what it sounds like. I think it's affecting the sound of the snare too, but I want to just see if it's helping the problem. I'll turn it off.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off.
I think it's helping. I think it's helping on the hi-hat. To have that de-esser on there, and it's up as high as it goes. 12 kilohertz is as high as I can make it go. So now I'm just going to mess with the threshold and the maximum reduction here, and try to get the snare to sound good and the hi-hat to sound reduced. Well, that helps, I think. It allows the tambourine to come through, too. You don't hear the tambourine so much when that hi-hat is sort of being picked up on the snare mic and overpowering everything. So I think that's an improvement. Hit the save button. And I think that was better. Checking to see if there are any questions. I don't see any questions here. Okay. I had the mic. I had a comment here from Ice Mic 1200 that you couldn't hear my mic. And what I was trying to do, I had the mic down lower because I found listening back to these things that the mic was sort of overpowering and the music was a bit soft. So I brought the mic down perhaps too much because I was trying to compensate, because nothing I hate more than listening to a podcast or a video and having one thing really loud and another thing really soft, So because you're turning up to hear one thing and then the other thing comes in and it blows your head off. So I was trying to avoid that, right? Anyway, thanks for the feedback there, Mike. And anybody else have any questions? Go ahead, hit me up. I think Mike's gone now, and that's fine. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon here. I think I've addressed the issues I had. I'm just going to do one quick little listening comparison. Bring the session back in here, and I'm going to take from the top, and I'm going to go to the mix I did before, which is mix 36, which is the one highlighted here, and then I'm going to do an A/B comparison back and forth and see if the changes I've made have improved things. So here we go. This is mix 37, the one I'm currently working on. '36.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels.
37.
Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off our plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile.
36.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. I see your lips move.
37.
That only means a something's spewing out that gives you grooving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile.
Okay. Unexpectedly, I'm hearing that the hi-hat comes through still more than I want it to on this mix. 36 sounded more balanced, so I'm going to go back to work on that a little bit more here on that snare mic here. Also, maybe I could, let's try something else here. Let's go to the drum bus and look at the compression on that. All right. So we're going to look at the compression on the drum bus here. Okay. There's the drum compressor. Now let's mess with that a little bit. Drum bus compressor's not doing anything. So let's fix that. Oh, it's off. Let's turn it on.
Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off our plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. I see your lips moving. That only means a something's spewing out that gives you grooving. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. How you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels. How your facts are screwed as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching.
Still a problem. Okay, interesting that the drum compressor was off. That blows my mind. I didn't know I had that way. What's this track here? Oh, that's the master. Okay. Let's go back here. It's almost time to break for lunch, folks. I'm going to maybe stop pretty soon, give my ears a break, and maybe come back later after lunch. The cats are hungry, and they're up there probably scratching at the door, and I probably better go feed them. And then I'll eat something myself, and then I'll come back and go after that hi-hat business. I think what happened was when I EQ'd the snare. There's the, I can't see it, but if I go here, there it is. There's the EQ. That bump I put in a 2K to make it more competitive with the claps brought the, that doesn't make sense because I was getting the hi-hat at 12K. Maybe I'll mess with that a little bit first. Let's see here. Let's mess with that a little bit before I sign off here and feed the cats. They can wait. They're fine. Here we go. I'm going to mess with this.
Good morning, pile and goodness, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, pile and goodness, I see your lips moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how your facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain has even brought a bet. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over.
Okay, now let's see. I'm going to go back to the top here and try to just listen to the hi-hat and see if the EQ move has helped.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't show.
Nope, that hi-hat is still coming through. I don't like it. Okay, we're going to try something different now. Let's see here. Let me try this. I'm going to put something on the drum bus. Oh, I already have glow. Oh no, I know what I want to trying to put on the drum bus here. Let's mess with this a bit. Let's turn off this distortion plug-in and see what happens here. Oh, there it is. There's where it's coming from. I'm kept picking it up a lot when I turn on this drum bus distortion. Maybe I don't need this. I'll turn it on.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels,
There's all that noise.
another heaping pile of bladders sliding off a plate. Another steaming FedEx too, served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips moving. That only.
Okay, that's good. Let's see. I'm going to go back to that now. Mess with that a little bit here. I like what it's doing for the clarity of the drums, but it's doing too much. So I'm going to mess with the controls here.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off our plate. Another steaming fitted stew served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how your facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain has even brought a bed.
Okay, I think I found it. I think it was the Chromaglow plugin, which is a Apple Logic distortion plugin, kind of a new thing that I had on the drum bus, and I think it was accentuating those high-end frequencies, and I'm kind of messing with the controls to sort of tame that.
Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, what you got for us today? Another heaping pile of bladder sliding off our plate. Another steaming fitted stew served with a smile. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, I see your lips are moving. That only means that something's spewing out that isn't proven. I don't know how you don't choke to death on that bile. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how you going for a laugh? I get a different figure when I sit and do the math. It's almost like we live in two different worlds. Good morning, Fallon Goebbels, how your facts as good as fiction? 'Cause nobody's swinging at anything you're pitching. No one with half a brain has even brought a bed. But if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, if you say it over and over and over, someone will believe you. Yeah.
Okay, I think that helped a lot. The problem was with the Chromaglow distortion plugin on the drum bus. Loved the drum clarity, but it was a little too much, right? So I had to tame that, and now it's a good idea to stop. You know, I've been at this for a while today, and it's a good idea to stop, give your ears a break, and go have some lunch, feed the cats, and all that. If you're still watching, thanks for being here. If you watch the replay, because it'll sit there on YouTube for a while. I'm just mixing. I'm mixing in my studio, and I'm working on stuff, and I'm talking to myself, to you as I'm doing it, and it kind of slows me down, but it's kind of fun to do. It makes me think about what it is I'm doing and why, and that's always a good thing instead of just trying to articulate what it is I'm doing. For those of you who may or may not be watching. So anyway, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all those smart things that smart YouTube people tell you. Here's some I should say. If you're in the Minneapolis area, my next gig will be Saturday, June 20th, 3:30 in the afternoon, a Saturday matinee for the day drinkers at the Dayton Bar and Grill in Dayton, Minnesota on Robinson Street. So if you're in Minnesota, come on down. I'll have my guitar and nothing much else with me, and my guitar and a looping pedal, and we'll have a good time. We'll drink a little bit. And we'll eat and have fun on a Saturday afternoon. And